Hello, I'm Matt and welcome to Badger Workshop. So I've had this Milwaukee table saw for a few months now, so I thought I'd give you my thoughts on it. Loads of people are interested in it. So obviously it's a battery saw. The first thing is the power. It has not struggled with anything I've pushed through it. The other week I was using my tenoning jig to cut some oak and I had the 5mm grooving blade in, so I was taking a big chunk out of oak. A reasonably deep cut, not a problem whatsoever. It's never struggled once, so I think that's a concern a lot of people have with the battery tools, but this really has been fantastic. So another good point is the fence. Rack and pinion, locks in place, there it comes off, which is for transport. It's got the for doing thin rips, or if you have it out fully, that also works as a support. It's got a push stick in there. Anyone that's seen the DeWalt's knows how this fence works. It works fantastically. It also has two positions on the fence, so you can do 600 odd mil wide cuts, which I've never had that capacity in another saw, so it's not something I ever kind of missed or wanted. But when you have it, it's very useful. So run time on the batteries, I think these are the big 12 amp hour ones I got. I've got 1 bar left, need to charge that. People worried about the run time, but all you need to get around the problem with the run time is have more than one battery really. I bought just a little 4 amp hour one, and what that allows me to do is, if this is getting low, I whack the 4 amp hour on just to finish the few cuts I'm making while this one charges up. But because it's so good, I don't charge it every day. I probably charge it once a week. I mean, I'm not using the saw all day, but I've seen people do test cuts and people in the trades have talked about that it can run all day really. So I don't really see it as a problem, and having a second battery solves any runtime issues. Other things I like, standard mitre slots. I've talked about this before. Why all saws don't have standard mitre slots is beyond me. This does, which is great. Obviously it's pretty lightweight and portable, which is handy. I've got it built into a bench. I did a video about that. I'll put a link up above. Really happy with the bench. It turns a contractor saw into more of a cabinet saw, having that support all the way around. Dust collection's pretty good. The whole of the blade is shrouded. It's got a decent sized dust port, and it comes with a reducer as well, so you can just plug a shop vac in. How loud it is, it's, oh, again, I'd put a video link up there. I did a comparison on the sound test. It was around the 100 decibel bit. So it's I wouldn't say it's quiet, but for table saw standards, it's pretty quiet. Toolless blade change is good. Well, I say toolless, not toolless at all. But all you got to do is do a twist to remove the throat plate, he says. And then it has a spindle lock, so you only need 1 spanner instead of the 2 spanners on some. So that is really speeds the blade change up. I was struggling there because I'm doing it from the back, and I get confused easily. The manual that comes with it is excellent. A colour manual with colour pictures of every stage of the setup and the tweaking. And if you want to have a look at that, if you go onto the website, they have a PDF of that you can download, so that is really good. Accuracy is great because, I say, the fence is good, so it's how much you tune it up is how accurate it be. And what's the riving knife and blade guards are excellent. So I'll bring you in closer and show you those. So what we have here is a riving knife that is slightly lower than the top of the blade, so you can do non-through cuts, which is really handy. Then you reach under the saw, pull a lever, that just lifts out. You can drop in that one, push the lever back down, and you've got another riving knife with a built-in blade guard. Fantastic. No excuse for not using the blade guard when it's so easy to change them. The other thing I've been asked about a lot is the Arbor, because people want to put on dado blades. So let's just, I'll show you. I don't know if we can see in there. Let me get some more light on. You can see there how much thread's left on the Arbor. I'll take the blade off and show you. So that's the Arbor with the blade off. I've got a 5mm grooving blade there. So let's get that on. Trying to see what I'm doing while filming. Flange and the nut. So you can see how that just fits on. So something that's not quite so positive is the mitre gauge that comes with it. Not very good, like pretty much every saw, so I was never worried about that. But because it has standard mitre slots, I can't slide it in because my tripod's in the way, but I got this one. So there's a link down below on my Amazon page to this, and this just works great. Another thing, if we're being super picky, would be on this blade guard there's no dust port. I've had saws with a dust port and it's always a pain to get the hose in, so it's not something I particularly use. And I find that splitting the vac to 2 different ports, you just reduce the suction in 2 places, and I prefer just to have all the suction in one place. But if that's something you like, that is missing. So another thing I'd say is the setup of the saw is probably a negative and a positive. So when mine came, the fence wasn't square. The blade I don't think was quite parallel to the mitre slots. And the riving knife has given me huge amounts of problems. For over a month really, I fiddled with it and fiddled with it. But the positive is everything is adjustable. So straight away I got the blade parallel and the fence squared. The riving knife has got grub screws that do it every way. Can't find the words, but you know what I mean. But I couldn't, even with the manual, I couldn't quite see what it was all doing, and I ended up actually taking the mechanism off. And then I could see what was going on, and I could get it perfectly in line with the blade and square. So it didn't come perfectly set up at the factory, and considering this was £800 odd saw, I don't know what the price is of it today. It is on my Amazon page down below if you want to have a look. It's a shame that no one bothered setting it, tuning it up before they sent it out, but what is good is every little thing on it can be adjusted. So I think I've covered everything. So basically what I'm saying is I really like it. I've never used it in the 3 odd months outside of the workshop, so the battery option for me is pointless. If it had a cord on it, that'd probably be better for me, but I love all the features. So that's why I got it. Yeah, I'm pleased with it. It's a very good saw. So I hope this was helpful to some of you. Thanks for watching. Thank you to my Patreons, and please subscribe for more videos.